don't know about you guys, but it feels like for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying to myself over and over again, just wait until the new year to start with those new habits. Start with that new schedule, that new routine, that new whatever. And December has been painstakingly slow. I feel like perhaps it's a collective human psychology comparative to, how the new year is ending in relation to how you are performing. And that lull is just a consequence of the time that we're in at the moment. So as many 2024 videos will be coming about how best to approach it, I found myself going in a different direction in relation to what has given me the best results, as opposed to what is the new cliche trend and thing to do that is new, shiny, and materialistic. So I would have you scrutinize each of these 3 points and a couple of spiritual mental models that I have for you at the end with your own delineation, with your own prejudice, and fundamentally work to how you perform, which is actually one of the points here. So I'm going to start at number 1 with accountability rules. The number 1 places in my life where I've made the most progress has always been leveraging an element of accountability. It has always been there. It is always, I've got a little quote here that I've tweeted before, but all men fall to their quality of their accountability. I'll say that one more time. You will always fall to the quality of your accountability. I remember when I had won national judo competitions, when I had a personal mentor and coach, when my father was equally coaching me. That's the time where I experienced the most progress. I was the most disciplined and I won the most because I had that personal accountability, a high quality of accountability. I'm sure similar to you, you'll find that in your life, the areas where you've progressed the most is where there's been somebody over you keeping you accountable to high standards. Usually on a one-to-one basis, I believe that is the highest quality of accountability a man can get. The second would probably be a accountability group. And good news actually with accountability groups, we're starting one on January 1st in my Discord VIP Patreons only. We've got about 25 to 30 guys in there at the moment, so it's a tight-knit group that's keeping each other accountable to good habits, mitigating bad habits, business talk. So have a little look in the link below if you're interested in that. But if not, accountability partners, right? In our free Discord, we've got around 2,000 members. And frequently there are discussions between personnel where you're meeting individuals who are like-minded like you into self-improvement, who want to keep themselves accountable to the best results possible. And fundamentally, I think you can do this in IRL, right? With your friends, if you have friends, with perhaps your girlfriend, perhaps even your parents that keep you accountable to the results that you want. For me, look, don't be naive into thinking that you can always keep yourself accountable to high standards. I set very, very high standards for myself, but I have a personal coach. I have somebody who keeps me accountable to those standards, because when there are days where I'm feeling lazy, because I'm human too, I experience those emotions, it is fundamental to my progress that I take action despite how I feel. And that usually works best for me when I'm held financially accountable, because I hate the fear of loss. Meaning, if I'm investing in somebody who is keeping me accountable to my actions, I'm going to do that, because the worst thing in the world for me is losing financially, losing time, and losing progress in those elements. And you need to create a work dynamic for you in which you can leverage your feeling of loss. I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds uncomfortable for people. Like, here's something uncomfortable. Tell somebody that you love dearly, that you believe has a high opinion of you, or you have a high opinion of them, about a really bad habit you have. It might be watching those poisonous pixels online, and watch immediately how you cringe and go, oh, I don't want to tell them. What will they think of me? It's supposed to be uncomfortable, because then when you tell them that you've relapsed, because you really don't want to disappoint them, then there's that fear of loss. You have to understand, you have to have a a simple understanding of basic human psychology and the fact that we are more sensitive to fear of loss because of our survival mechanism than we are of the prospect of gain. Meaning you're more likely to experience progress if there's a fear of losing something than there is a prospect of gaining something. Because otherwise you die if there's a feeling of loss. So you have to leverage that component, and it's very, very potent when you do. And one of the ways you can do that is by going high quality personal coach that you're investing in, accountability group, paid or unpaid, and an accountability partner, which is typically, free, but with the prospect of loss of reputation on your end. So you have to leverage the feeling of loss, as you will always fall prey to the level of your accountability. And that's always been essential for me, something that I continue to invest in because it always gives me the best results. Second, reverse engineer your goals. This is a fantastic way to get really clear on not only what you want, but how to get it. And the latter part is so indicative to your progress. So boys focus on goals, men focus on systems. I'll say that again. Boys focus on goals, men focus on system. It's great to have a goal. It's really good to have a goal, but only 20% of your computation should be focused on actually fleshing out that goal. The 80% is predicated on the procedure, how, the system, how you get there. So I've given a little example here, but I'll just explain a little bit more thoroughly. Get clear on what you want first and foremost. Most men don't know what you want. Look, if you're watching this video now, you probably don't have a 5-year or 10-year plan, or maybe you do. Think about it in terms of the life you want to live. And by the way, not working is not a goal to have. It's not a goal to have. The work is the goal. You recognize this as you get older. The work is the goal. It's a very spiritual perspective, actually. You're not entitled to what you want. You're entitled only to the work. And I know that sounds strange. That's a lesson from Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, these have to be measurable goals. The reason why it has to be measurable is you're going to get clearer on the system that you utilize in order to get to that goal. So it has to be specific. It might be that you want to earn a particular outcome, a particular amount of money per month, right? And that's the example that I'm giving a little bit later. Keep asking yourself how until you have the daily steps and actions in order to achieve that goal. So keep asking yourself how. So you've ascertained the goal. Now you keep asking yourself how. By doing this, how? By doing that, how? I'll show you in a moment. And then execute on those daily actions. So you should be asking yourself how to the point where you have a clear-cut criteria of daily actions that will allow you to get what you want. So let's take this example here. Let's say the goal is $10,000 monthly recurring revenue, right? How? How are you going to achieve that, right? Well, let's say I'm going to sell something that's $5,000 every month and two things that are $2,500 every month. Let's take the $2,500. How are you going to sell something for $2,500? Okay. Maybe you decide, okay, I'm going to sell personal coaching for that. Or maybe you say, I'm going to sell building websites, right? I'm going to sell two services of building websites. Or social media marketing, right? Some kind of service. You're going to have to figure this out. And then you go, how? How do you sell coaching? How do you sell building websites? Well, I sell that by marketing myself, right? How do you market yourself? Is it inbound leads? If it's inbound leads, you're going to have to promote yourself on social media. How are you going to promote yourself on social media? I'm going to promote myself on the X platform. How are you going to promote yourself on the X platform? I'm going to tweet daily around building websites. How are you going to tweet daily by building websites? I'm going to spend an hour every morning researching the best tweets in my industry around building websites. So you see the point here. You get specific on what you want, and then you reverse engineer it. You work backwards. You keep asking yourself, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that? And eventually, you get to a point where you have clear daily actions that are immediately related to your goal. So you can see how the simple action of researching the best content in website building is tied to you getting fundamentally what you want. And what I love about this process is it means you have more conviction on those daily actions because you can see clearly the relationship. It is such a powerful tool. When guys ask me, Joseph, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my goal? I don't know what to do. Reverse engineer it. Reverse engineer it. But with all things, it takes effort. I can't tell you how to do it. Well, I can't make you do it. I can tell you how to do it, but I can't make you do it. Let's go on to number 3 about being outcome orientated in how you work. Group think, ideology, and dogma are the lowest forms of intellect. Groupthink, ideology, and dogma are the lowest forms of intellect. Look, this video is going to be among hundreds and thousands of other videos starting 2024. The game plan, the routine, the playbook, all these things, right? And they probably have a lot of utility, a lot of good ideas for them. However, I would implore you to be outcome orientated, right? A lot of time, and I've been very guilty of this as well, I've been guilty of adopting routines via marketing and dopamine when I tell people what I am doing, right? Meaning it is very, very attractive, makes you feel good about yourself when you tell your buddies at the gym, oh, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I'm taking a cold shower. I'm meditating for an hour. I'm praying. I'm journaling. I'm doing 100 push-ups. Whatever the case may be is, right? That might work for you. That might work for you, but it's not going to work for me. You're not going to find me doing that, okay? It's about being outcome orientated. It's about being results driven. If your system, this is a good example here. This all here is a system, right? This is your system, and this right here is a goal. If this system is not getting me close to my goal, then this system is not working. It's not working. Therefore, I need to change this system for something else. Same thing with being outcome orientated in how you work. How do you work best? I'll give you an example. I work tremendously well in the morning when I'm fasted. I can't remember the last time I've eaten before 1 p.m. Can't remember the time. For a lot of people, that might not work for you, but I found cognitively I am sound. I'm probably at my most creative. I am sharper. I'm more focused. I can get into consciousness states of deep meditation very, very quickly. And I just perform intellectually at my best. That works for me. That is a system I have employed for many, many years now. That works tremendously well for me. That might not work for you. Maybe you get headaches in the morning if you haven't eaten. Maybe you just don't have the energy in the morning. I take black coffee. The only thing I have in the morning is a black coffee, and I have MCT oil and also a little bit of shilajit in my coffee, right, which is a Himalayan mineral. And the MCT oil is coconut oil, and it's good for ketones, right? It's got fat in there, and fat doesn't spike your insulin, so you're still in a fasted state. That works for me. That works really, really well for me, okay? You can try my routine out. Here's the thing with routines as well, and how you're working is pick something and try it out for 3 weeks. 3 weeks for me has always been the sweet spot. The first week, you're going to have to write it off. It's going to be a car crash because your body's going to go through an adaptation phase from how you work to how you now work, okay? I never judge things in the first week because of that factor. So if you're going to try the fasting, by the way, if you've never fasted before in the morning, you'll probably get headaches because your body's it's used to getting glucose early in the morning. You'll feel hungry. Yeah, of course you will, because you're used to eating at that time, and your body has probably pre-started peristalsis, which is the digestive phase. And it's not going to be pleasant. The first time I fasted was not a good week. It was not a good week, but I persevered, I pushed through it, and now I feel incredible. I feel phenomenal. I feel phenomenal. You might decide, right, eating in the morning, meditate. I can't meditate in the morning. It's another thing for me. I can't meditate in the morning. I feel too sleepy, too groggy. I prefer to get up, go for a walk, get some cold water on my face, and either go straight into deep work or to the gym. Those are the two systems that I employ that give me the best results. Okay. You measure the value of a system solely by the results it gives you. So one more time. You measure the value of a system solely by the results it gives you. Not because Matt Diavella said so, or Hamza said so, or I said so, or your buddy in the pub said so, or Elon Musk said so. Is it getting you closer to here? Yes or no? Yes or no? You have to be objective. You have to be ruthless. You have to be very, very strong in your conviction in that aspect. Be results orientated slowly. Now I have some spiritual mental models down here that I think is really important that I convey to you. We've been talking about yang, right? We've been talking about yang energy here, which is work, productivity, expansive, penetrative. That's masculine energy, okay? It's very, very important. To be honest, I feel this element, if you're a very self-motivated man, isn't something that you should be particularly concerned about. You should be doing something daily that increases your heart rate. I'm starting to do beach sprints, increase growth hormone by up to 400%, by the way. And maybe combative sports would be another thing. Every single day, you need to be engaged in yang activity, anabolic, assertive, masculine. However, what I struggle with the most is yin, is getting the balance right between the yin and the yang. If the yang is the assertive, is the active, yang is the passive. It is the nurturing. It is the more, if masculine is expansive, feminine is constrictive. Breath work. I believe breathing is key in I know it's key. I don't believe it. I know it's key in self-regulation. And one of the easiest ways, I used to smoke quite a bit when I was younger. And what I find myself doing now for a little bit of yin, a little bit of recovery, is, smokers go outside and they have their smoke break, right? I go out and I have a breath break. So I go outside, people with their cigarettes. I'm just there and I'm like really deep breathing. And you get a little bit high from it, right? When I used to smoke, you get that nicotine high. You get a breathing high. You don't need the nicotine. If you go outside and humor me, go out for a minute, like 60 seconds, and do deep. Like full yogic breathing. Yogic breathing is belly, chest, clavicle. Belly, chest, clavicle. You do that for 60 seconds, you'll be high. You'll be high as a kite. It's great. You don't need the nicotine. Breathwork is going to be involved in when you're making music. I'm starting to make a little bit of music. I'll show you my music instrument. I'm going to cut here. So yeah, this is going to be weird. I'm learning to play the handpan right now because I'm making meditation music on Patreon and for my own personal breathwork. So if you want to support me and get some unique music from your boy, this is going to be happening soon. I'm still learning, but maybe I can do a little riff for you right now. I enjoy this so much. This is pure yin activity for me. It's very relaxing. You kind of go, you shut off your logical mind and you go into your intuitive, your creative, right? It is feminine. Making music is art in that way. And if not that, fictional reading. Fictional reading is tremendous. I know you guys on self-improvement love your non-fiction. Probably 90% of the books in my library are non-fiction. But turning off your analytical and going into your intuitive, creative. Read Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. That will take you into a different world, a different plane. Read Dune by Frank Herbert, I believe. New movie coming out soon. And again, just a tremendous way to remove yourself into a different world, relax, recover. And it's so important that you get the balance right in that regard. So gentlemen, I really believe, take what is resourceful from this video and discard it. Don't follow blindly. Again, groupthink, ideology, and dogma are low IQ. They're low IQ things. Be outcome orientated in your results. Find what works best for you. I think balance is key in that respect. And the reason why I don't believe that is dogma is because we live in a dualistic world, right? We have sun, we have moon, we have night, we have day. You're not getting away from that. That isn't an idea, that is reality, okay? So you're gonna have to find the work and play, if anything. And that is one thing I would have you pay a little bit more attention to this year. But God bless you. These aren't theories, these are facts. Have a wonderful 2024, and I'm going to be there with you, of course. Take care.